All right, welcome on in everyone to another episode of First CSP, the channel dedicated to bringing you the first council shoulder patch issued from each council in Scouting America, both past and present. Today we're going to take a look at Mound Builders Area 454 out of Ohio. Council was originally formed in 1932 as the name change from Middletown 454 and lasted up until 1985 when it was absorbed by Dan Beard 438. Heading on over to the patch table, there is only one first issue here, so no variants. It is just the T1 with its gold border, white background, red fleur-de-lis, red letters, and most specifically apostrophe before the S. There is a secondary issue from the council listed as S2, specifically a Taiwanese-made patch, I guess would be without the twill fully embroidered as an S2, but the apostrophe is after the S. Never seen that S2. As far as the T1 goes, there definitely were multiple production runs because we have 3 of them to show you today. So this is the first one that we have on the patch table. One thing that I would point out is it does appear to have white lock stitching. So when you go over to the front, this does have a plastic back. When you go over to the front, you're going to see that white lock stitching show up here as a very light white line. See if I can bring that a little closer to the camera. So you can see that lock stitching actually is white around the border there. That certainly is one distinction from this issue where, again, these would all just be T1s. They were never broken into A's or B's. We're going to find that this is a pretty smooth twill, whereas the other 2 we'll be taking a look at are twill where the grain is going left to right. This one, the lock stitching appears to be gold, so the same color as the border. This older one, I think probably would have been a little bit whiter on the background, but has had some age. You can see there's a little stain here on the edge there. And then we have another one. Set it over the top here. Also, going back, has white lock stitching, which does show up here along the border. Also a plastic back. This plastic back is plastic over the old style gauze, which I think one of these others was like that as well. So this one at the bottom also appears to have either a pattern on the plastic or potentially was gauze underneath. They all look a bit different. It is listed in the collecting guide that there is a range of color variation between these. It's impossible to say which was an earlier production run and which was a later production run. We definitely from the back can see pretty distinct color differences in the blue for the water. That's a little bit harder to see from the front. These mounds from the mound builders appear to be a bit more green on this one, so the darkest coloration appears to happen to be on this issue. But this is just a nice example that oftentimes these CSPs, especially when they were the council's regular issue, are going to have reorders. They're going to have multiple production runs that do exist. And here's 3 examples of the T1 for the Mound Builders area. And there certainly could have potentially been more than just the 3. We've never generally had detailed records that look at exactly how many production runs were ever produced for any particular issue. But I hope you guys have enjoyed this episode, found it entertaining and informative. Get to see a couple issues here of the T1 for Mound Builders area. Really nice, obviously highlighting the mounds that were built on the patch there. We'll be back again tomorrow with another brand new episode of First CSP. We hope to see you back then. I want to thank you for making a small part of your day today, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your day.